First, I'd like to turn to Rodney. The police chief in Moscow mentioned cleaning up chemicals during the investigation. So what sort of chemicals do you believe he's referring to?
Well, I think the only chemical we could be talking about is silver nitrate for fingerprint processing. Iodine is used and sometimes luminol, but more likely than not, he's just being diplomatic. It's to clean up bodily fluids, blood, and such.
Things of that nature. Okay. So, Joe, can you provide some context for us? 6 weeks have passed since the murders. Is that a typical length of time for a crime scene to remain active in a case like this?
Well, it's heavily dependent upon the nature of the particular event that occurred there. I've handled cases over the course of my career where I've had multiple homicides at one event, and the scene would be released pretty much, within a couple of weeks.
Hey, I lost audio.
We're heading out now into that 7th week. I just hope that they have put a lot of thought into this. I would imagine that the task force that's combined in this case, including the state police as well as the FBI and the Moscow police, have all conferred on this, and they've determined that the scene is in effect releasable, that they've collected everything. And to Mike's point earlier, they're going to have to get down into the carpeted areas, the subflooring, the padding, and all of that. And here's another thing. Remember, these individuals, these victims, were killed in a bedroom. That means that mattresses are involved. I have yet to see any video footage of them taking mattresses out of this environment. I hope that they've collected those, held onto those. In some cases, you'll even cut out drywall. And the headboards, if there are headboards, there could be dynamic blood staining that are on those surfaces as well. And once these individuals are inside this dwelling, once this cleanup crew is there, all bets are off at that point. You have to do everything that must have been done prior to the introduction of these civilians into this environment, because they're going to be doing a deep cleaning. All of that fragmented, fragile trace evidence is gone at that point.
Really, really interesting. So, Mike, what does this mean for the investigation, this cleaning? Is this a normal next step, or is this investigation moving, would you say, into another phase completely?
I think it's both. I mean, it certainly is an eventual step. I mean, in some cases, school shootings where the government's owned the building, we've seen them hold on to a building until the trial. Clearly, that's not going to be the case in this particular investigation. And so they clearly believe that they have collected everything that they can, along with what they may collect during this cleanup period. And then it's going to be kind of a normal course of business. They're going to have to move into that next phase, and that next phase means there's no returning back in most cases, and so they're going to have to rely on what they've collected and what they've created.
Okay, interesting. So, Rodney, we outlined a little bit, the panel did, what the cleanup entails, but would investigators ever be present during a cleanup phase?
It's possible that they'd be present, but not likely. I mean, if there'll probably be someone there in case some new evidence is discovered. But as mentioned before, once that crime scene is released and it's pretty much contaminated, you can't really use it. You compromise the integrity of the crime scene, and once that's done, it's probably impossible to get back and get anything really reliable.
Yeah.
So, Joe, if forensic evidence was missed inside, you kind of alluded to the fact that it will be gone forever now. Does that happen often, or, what are the odds of something like that taking place?
I guess the question is would they find something else, possibly after they've moved something, that sort of thing? Potentially, it does happen. There are those instances where that occurs. But that's why your ducks have to be in a row before you make this decision, because this is a decision, please hear me right, this is a decision that you cannot turn back from at this point in time. Mike had alluded to, the holding on to government properties, and I think that we can think back to Parkland. That's a government structure. They can do that forever and ever, amen. They did it for years. And this is a private dwelling. It's going to be turned back over to the property managers at this point in time. But again, I go back to this point, and please understand, in Parkland, we knew who Nicholas Cruz was. To date, We have yet to hear them even whisper a name yet associated as a perpetrator with this crime. There's still somebody out there that's on the loose. My thought is that they have full confidence that they have collected everything.
All right. So, Mike, authorities have received almost 20,000 tips to date. What do they look for as they sort through them? How do they prioritize these tips?
Yeah, those are incredible numbers, aren't they, when you think about it? And this is a small agency, but most agencies nowadays have investigative software tools. If not, the state, I would hope, has it, and I know that the FBI has it. But there's a process. I mean, there's this intake process where you're bringing this 20,000 tips in. You need a location to store those tips and leads, and then you got to have an ability to start scoring the tips and leads, and those that rise to the surface, assigning them to the investigator. So you got to have a bench that can go out and follow those things up. But then you got to have the ability to monitor the status of all those leads. Have they been vetted? Are they cleared, or do they need further follow-up? And finally, you got to have a process to close the lead out, saying we've absolutely addressed this and it's time to move on to the next. So it's a systematic process, but it's something that can be handled with software. Hopefully they've got it. And if not, you can go back to the days when we were young officers and you did it all manually and you reported to your sergeant that I've done it.
Wow, a lot of work either way. So, Rodney, in a case like this, and authorities have asked for any and all tips, as we know, is there a way, or is there a pattern? What percentage would you actually say of tips that come in are useful for authorities?
I would say a large number of the tips that come in are useful in some way. Something, you don't want to miss anything. I think all the tips pouring in is probably something that the police need because they're looking for things. As mentioned earlier, I don't think they have a clue on who may be involved in this. So every little tip counts, and they absolutely have to vet them to the fullest. So the question is probably whether or not the tips are accurate and what to discard and what not to discard.
All right, interesting. So, Joe, forensic evidence, tips from the public. What else are police doing right now actively to catch this killer, in your estimation?
Well, I'm a science guy, so I'm still waiting for them to go through all of the DNA evidence. I think that we're coming down to the point now where much of the process of running a lot of the evidence that was collected at that scene has been processed. When you think about toxicology, which of course was collected at autopsy, but also hair and fiber, they should be at a point now where that stuff is being analyzed and a final report should be issued. I think the big thing we're waiting on right now are any unknown DNA samples that were recovered at the scene, and this scene will be replete with those because we've heard the term party house over and over and over again. So they had a lot to go through. My point here is that once they have those data sets, they can go back to these leads that my colleagues have mentioned and kind of connect those to go into this phase of individualization of evidence and have specific tiebacks, so they can follow those biological or forensic science leads out to some of the circumstantial stuff that they're developing relative to interviews and interrogations and all those sorts of things that detectives do.
All right, well, that makes sense. So, Mike, we have about 60 seconds left. Is the public interest in this case, and I'm sure there are shades of gray to this, but overall, do you believe it's helping or hurting the investigation?
I think it's absolutely helping to have public interest. Not only is it motivating for law enforcement, but it keeps filling that bucket of tips and leads. The real question becomes, are those in the public passing on tips and leads, or are they trying to make bank on it by advertising it, which absolutely is damaging to the investigation? Yeah. So the plea always is, if you know something, make sure you're calling the police department or the FBI, not putting it out on the air.
All right. So, Joe, we've got about 30 seconds. Quickly, can we read anything into another push for public information? Does it possibly mean that good leads are running dry?
No, I don't necessarily think that that is the case. Again, we don't know what they know inside those little conference rooms. They have to continue to press. You press, you press, you press. You can, and this is not something that is done overnight. This is something that is a long, drawn-out process. It is something that involves detail. It requires detail to every bit of minutia that would seem like minutia to everybody else, because therein lays your answer to all of this, to begin to unravel all of this. And at the end of the day, they're going to have definitive answers. I can almost guarantee it. And, you know, I stand by that. I think that the science in the end is going to win out. We're going to find out who did this.
All right. Well, it's insightful as always. Matt King, Rodney Demery, Joseph Scott Morgan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And straight ahead.